Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Renegade Immortal episode number 288 based on novel. So let's start. Wang Lin hesitated for a bit and then looked at the planet behind the Chen brothers. The spiritual energy from it was very strong, and he could tell how beautiful the planet was with just a glance. Master Yi Chen saw Wang Lin's hesitation, and he quickly said, "Brother Wang, aside from our planet Water Spirit, there is no planet within hundreds of thousands of kilometers that are as good. Also, this planet is very large, so we won't disturb Brother Wang's cultivation." Master Yi Xing and Master Yi Long also saw through Master Yi Chen's thoughts and quickly persuaded Wang Lin. Wang Lin nodded and clasped his hands. "Since this is the case, then I'll be bothering the three of you." Master Yi Chen laughed and said, "No trouble. Having Brother Wang Lin on our planet is our honor. This way." As Master Yi Chen spoke, he took a few steps back and gestured for Lei Ji's large body to head toward planet Water Spirit. As they moved forward, Lei Ji's body became smaller and smaller until he was a big fellow that followed behind Wang Lin and Big Head. As for Master Hollow Wind, he no longer dared to speak out of line and followed Wang Lin. Along the way, the Chen brothers talked with Wang Lin, but it was mostly about irrelevant matters. The Chen brothers didn't ask a single thing about what happened outside Ghost Eye City. They were all powerful cultivators, so it didn't take long for them to arrive near planet Water Spirit, and they entered the atmosphere. The violent wind of the atmosphere blew on them, but it really couldn't shake any of them. Entering the atmosphere was really insignificant to them. Soon, everyone went through the atmosphere. Wang Lin descended on planet Water Spirit while being treated like a star by the Chen brothers. Just as they exited the atmosphere, they sensed dense spiritual energy. Wang Lin took a deep breath and admiration filled his eyes. The three Chen brothers secretly felt proud when they saw this. This was the best cultivation planet within tens of thousands of kilometers. If not for their master, there was no way the three of them could have occupied this planet. Wang Lin laughed. "This planet is good." Master Yi Chen laughed and said, "If Brother Wang likes it here, you can stay here long term. This old man welcomes you." As they spoke, several celestial cranes flew the clouds, their movements extremely beautiful. On one of the cranes sat a girl in blue. She was very beautiful and bursts of crisp laughter could be heard before the cranes even got close. "Senior sister, you said you found an underground spring. Where is it?" A woman in purple sat on a crane behind the girl in blue. Her face was cold, but she had stunning beauty and jade-like skin. Her eyes glistened and her exquisite facial features would catch the attention of anyone who looked at her. If one casted away the coldness from this woman, there would only be one way to describe her. Warms the heart and delights the eye? Her coldness only became gentle when facing the girl before her. She revealed a smile and softly said, "Little sister, don't worry, we are not far." Just then, she saw the three Chen brothers and Wang Lin. Her beautiful eyes swept past them before she stood up and respectfully said, "Disciple Zhao Shui greets master and fellow uncle masters." The second brother of the Chen brothers, Master Yi Long, smiled and looked at Wang Lin. "Brother Wang, this is my disciple, Zhao Shui." After he finished speaking, he turned toward the woman in purple and said, "Zhao Shui, why haven't you great Senior Wang yet?" The beautiful eyes of the woman in purple landed on Wang Lin, then she respectfully said, "Greetings, Senior." The girl on the crane had already seen Wang Lin and others. At this moment, her big eyes blinked and she smiled. Does Senior Wang still remember Linger? Her voice was very feminine and contained the natural charm of girl with a water spirit root. Her voice made Wang Lin smile and he nodded. "Of course I remember. Didn't I gift my straw hat and bells to you?" The girl smiled and was about to speak, but she suddenly remembered something. Her face turned red and her gaze swept to the woman in purple. Surprise filled the eyes of the woman in purple. She knew this junior sister of hers very well. After the girl came back a few days ago, she couldn't stop talking about what happened. There was a senior named Wang who she mentioned all the time, and every time she talked about him, she would get very excited. She really liked the pair of bells, she always had them on her wrist and fiddled with them. In the past few days, she talked about this senior Wang the most. Even Zhao Shui couldn't help but become curious. At this moment, Zhao Shui took a few extra glances at Wang Lin but wasn't able to notice anything extraordinary. Master Yi Chen smiled as he looked at this scene. As he looked at Wang Lin, an idea came into his mind. He smiled. Linger, Senior Wang will stay for a while. Don't disturb him. With that, he led Wang Lin away. Wang Lin nodded at Linger and took a step forward. Big Head and Ta Shan followed behind him. Master Hollow Wind looked at the two women and let out a sigh before he followed. Linger stuck out her tongue, and the red on her face hadn't disappeared yet. She began happily chatting with Zhao Shui once more, and the celestial cranes flew off into the distance. Master Yi Chen arranged an extremely elegant palace in the eastern part of the planet. This place was ancient and had a celestial aura to it. With palaces located within the mountains, this place looked like the celestial realm when looking from afar. This place was also the spot on the planet with the densest spiritual energy. After leaving Wang Lin here, the three Chen brothers left and agreed to come visit tomorrow. After sending off the three Chen brothers, Wang Lin looked at the palaces in the mountains before him. Almost every mountain peak had a palace. Adding them up, there were no less than 10 palaces here. It was extremely majestic. There were many towering trees within the mountains. This place was very calming to one's heart. I need to go into closed-door cultivation for several days. Ta Shan will guard me, and everyone else can choose their own residence. However, you can't go more than 50 kilometers from me. Wang Lin's expression was calm as he left one command and charged toward a palace. Ta Shan stepped out and followed Wang Lin. Big Head hesitated for a bit before choosing a palace with Lei Ji. This palace was very close to Wang Lin, so if Wang Lin summoned them, they could immediately arrive. As for Master Hollow Wind, he let out a sigh and chose a place a bit further away. He subconsciously wasn't willing to be too close to Wang Lin, but he remembered Wang Lin's 50-kilometer limit. With one step, Wang Lin arrived in the residence he chose. After taking a look, he revealed a look of admiration. Almost every palace here was different, but all of them were magnificent. After entering the palace, Ta Shan sat down outside. He remained motionless and guarded Wang Lin. The palace was very luxurious and was filled with decorations. There was a huge pattern on the floor, but it emitted no fluctuations, so it was not a formation, just a decoration. There was a furnace about the size of 3 people in the middle. There was an incense stick as thick as an arm burning inside, and its smoke drifted up and scattered within the palace. There was also a purple jade mat. It was obviously a place for cultivating. In addition, there were murals that linked together carved on the surrounding walls. The murals depicted an image of many celestials surrounded by clouds welcoming you. After looking around, Wang Lin was very satisfied with this place. This place was very large and suitable for refining treasures. It was also quiet, so it was good for closed-door cultivation. His divine sense spread out and carefully checked the area. Then Wang Lin sat down on the purple jade mat and slowly closed his eyes. His origin energy filled his body and his mid-stage Nirvana Scrya cultivation spread out. Wang Lin sat there for 3 days. During this time, the 3 Chen brothers arrived, but they didn't disturb him. After waiting for a bit, they said their farewells and left. Late in the night 3 days later, the stars were shining brightly in the sky of planet Water Spirit, and the night wind blew. The wind made the leaves rustle, but it was otherwise quiet. Wang Lin sat inside the palace. After 3 days of remaining motionless, he suddenly opened his eyes. 2 rays of bright light shot out from his eyes. The moment his eyes opened, it was as if a ray of light had flashed through the dark palace, and it became bright. 3 days of time plus the cultivation I did on the way finally made my cultivation stabilize at the peak of the mid-stage of Nirvana Scrya. With my ancient god body, I should be able to battle mid-stage Nirvana cleanser cultivators. Only, this isn't enough for the trip to the demon spirit land, Wang Lin muttered, and after a moment of silence, he slapped his bag of holding, causing a ray of azure light to shoot out. This azure light immediately caused the palace to become hazy. Inside the azure light was a small shield that was completely azure. It was refined with an unknown material, and waves of cloud seemed to be floating inside it. It looked very beautiful. This azure shield circled around Wang Lin 4 times before it became motionless before him. Even the azure light from the shield seemed to freeze. Looking at the shield inside the azure light, Wang Lin's eyes lit up. When Master Hollow Wind took it out the first time, Wang Lin felt the aura of an ancient god from it. However, this aura was not strong, as if it was sealed. If it wasn't for the fact that Wang Lin was an ancient god himself, no one would have known about it. There is no memory of Tu Sai refining this treasure. However, there were many ancient gods during ancient times, so this was presumably refined by another ancient god. Wang Lin pondered as he raised his right hand and the azure light shield flew toward him. In the end, the shield landed in his palm. The ancient god aura became even more noticeable after coming into close contact with it. Wang Lin's eyes lit up as he looked at the shield. After looking at it carefully for a while, his gaze locked onto a mark on the side of the small shield. That mark was a dragon stepping through the clouds. The dragon was completely azure and looked like an azure dragon. The ancient god aura coming from the shield was blocked by this mark so that it wouldn't dissipate too much. The mark sealed the aura inside the shield. Wang Lin pondered for a long time before raising his hand and pressing down on the mark. The moment he touched the mark, powerful repellent force exploded from it. This powerful force pushed Wang Lin's finger away. The azure light shield trembled and the dragon mark shined brightly. The light from the mark reached a peak and turned into an azure dragon. The azure dragon's body was 100 feet long and occupied more than half of the palace. The dragon scale was very beautiful and looked very dignified while coiled. It opened its mouth, let out a roar, and attempted to devour Wang Lin. Damn beast! Wang Lin's eyes turned cold and his right hand reached out. A storm shot out and swept toward the dragon. He grabbed hold of the azure dragon and was about to crush it. However, at this instant, the azure dragon's eyes shined brightly. Its body shined and it released azure light to form a smaller azure dragon that also tried to devour Wang Lin. Wang Lin sneered. The strongest power was between his eyebrows. If his third eye opened, even his ancient god body was inferior. Then there was also the heaven-defying bead as well. You courting death? A crack opened between his eyebrows and harsh, red light came from this crack. It was like a black hole, and it contained a powerful suction force. The azure dragon's eyes were filled with shock and it let out a roar as it wanted to retreat. However, it was too close to Wang Lin, so the moment it opened its eyes, it was sucked inside. Only the echo of the dragon still remained in the palace. The azure dragon in Wang Lin's hand immediately weakened and the light dimmed. Then Wang Lin squeezed and the dragon shattered. The azure light dissipated and a fingernail-sized fragment appeared in Wang Lin's hand. There was an azure dragon carved on this fragment. This azure dragon was very lifelike, and if mortals saw it, they would be shocked. Holding the fragment, Wang Lin carefully looked at it. He felt an aura similar to the vermilion bird mark between his brows. The Divine Force sect has the vermilion bird, black tortoise, azure dragon, and white tiger. Could this belong to the azure dragon divine sect? After pondering, he put the fragment into his bag and his gaze fell on the small azure light shield. Without the azure dragon, the ancient god aura filled the shield, but it wasn't obvious. Wang Lin frowned as he carefully examined it, then his eyes narrowed. Although the azure dragon mark was gone, there was an azure vortex slowly rotating. Before, the mark was hiding it, but now that the mark was gone, the vortex was exposed. This vortex wasn't very powerful, but after Wang Lin carefully observed it, he could vaguely see strands of origin energy within. This origin energy had no offensive ability, it was a strand of divine sense. This divine sense was mixed with ancient god aura. Somehow, they had completely merged together. As a result, unless one had the power of an ancient god, it would be impossible to get rid of this divine sense. As for whether third-step cultivators could do it, Wang Lin didn't know. However, he knew Master Hollow Wind was unable to do so, which was why this divine sense was still there today. For a divine sense to be left inside this shield. There is something strange about this. Wang Lin pondered. If he didn't remove this divine sense, the ancient god aura couldn't be released. As a result, the power of this shield couldn't be displayed at all. After pondering for a bit, decisiveness filled Wang Lin's eyes. Without hesitation, he lifted his right finger and took a deep breath. The ancient god stars between his eyebrows rotated and ancient god power gathered in his finger. At this moment, Wang Lin's finger pressed down like lightning. His finger charged directly for the small vortex on the side of the shield. The moment his finger touched the vortex, the royal ancient god power from his finger charged out and collided with it. In an instant, the ancient aura coming from the vortex trembled and rapidly gathered toward Wang Lin's finger. At the same time, as the ancient god aura changed violently, the divine sense separated from it. At this moment, a dignified voice echoed inside Wang Lin's mind. This old man is the Azure Dragon Holy Emperor, and I'm trapped inside the Rain Celestial Realm. The one who saves me will become the first of the Azure Dragon series. Send my message back to the Azure Dragon Divine Sect and the 4 Divine Sect will do one thing for you. This old man's aura is weak, and I fear I can't last much longer. I hope someone receives this message and quickly comes to save me. Wang Lin's body trembled. Before he could think too much, the small azure vortex disappeared and the ancient god aura exploded like crazy. It was unknown how long this ancient god aura had been sealed inside the shield, and now all of it broke out like a storm. Wang Lin's expression changed, and he grabbed the azure shield and charged out of the palace. He stood under the stars. The moment he came out, the ancient god aura inside the shield completely exploded forth. This aura was very strong, so much so that even Wang Lin couldn't help but tremble. The endless ancient god aura went out and formed a giant ancient god illusion that appeared in the world. This ancient god illusion was blurry and its stars rotated rapidly. It was impossible to see how many stars this ancient god had. At this moment, the shield that was originally only the size of his hand instantly grew until it was dozens of feet large. From the looks of it, it was still increasing. As it expanded, a powerful aura spread out. The shield started out small and grew until it was over 1,000 feet large. Then an unimaginable pressure descended on the world. In the distance, the 3 Chen brothers had already noticed this and were charging over. Shock filled their eyes as they watched this. Wang Lin had become extremely incredible in their eyes. What kind of treasure is this? The treasure is a shield. I presume it is a defensive treasure. However, that treasure is simply too big. Look at the treasure spirit formed by this treasure, it's piercing the heavens. I have never seen a treasure spirit like this. Fellow cultivator Wang must have just obtained this treasure and is refining it. The 3 Chen brothers softly talked with each other and were able to guess some of the truth. Farther away, the cultivators living on the planet all awakened from their cultivation. Their cultivation levels weren't high enough, so they could only feel a towering pressure. They didn't dare to move at all. It was as if the sky was going to crush them if they moved. Linger was cultivating while looking at the bells before her. The more she looked, the more she liked them, but at this moment, a powerful pressure descended upon her. Then a blue light shined from her chest to help her resist this pressure. Before the blue light, Linger only felt discomfort. Her eyebrows wrinkled as she got up and walked outside. When she saw what was outside, her small mouth was wide open and disbelief filled her eyes. At the edge of the horizon was a giant squatting down, and the giant was already piercing the heavens. If the giant stood up, it only needed to stomp its feet to make the planet collapse. Big Head and company also flew out and were stunned by the scene before them. Lei Ji's body trembled and reverence filled his eyes as he looked at the illusion behind the shield. He clearly remembered that on planet Giant Demon, there was a totem in the royal sanctuary that was a sacred object to the clan. The sacred object depicted a giant like this. Master Hollow Wind was the first to notice the abnormality. At this moment, he floated in the air and had an extremely complex expression as he looked at the huge shield next to Wang Lin. He obtained the shield from an enemy he had killed. After studying it, he was shocked and was vaguely aware that it was linked to the 4 Divine Sect. He wouldn't easily use it, he only took it out due to the moment of life and death. He could break the Azure Dragon mark, but with his cultivation, he could see the azure vortex underneath it. No matter what he did, he wasn't able to break the vortex, so he could only allow the treasure to remain as it was. At this moment, he didn't expect Wang Lin to break the vortex seal as soon as he obtained the treasure. As a result, he unknowingly dreaded Wang Lin even more. This Wang Lin is not simple. It won't be such a disgrace for my identity if I follow him. Master Hollowwind let out a sigh. Wang Lin's expression was serious as he stared at the expanding shield. The shield had already expanded from its previous 1,000 feet to almost 3,000 feet. Looking at the shield from up close, it was like a wall. It looked very rough, but no one dared to underestimate the power of this shield. This was a treasure of the ancient gods. The illusion of the ancient god that appeared behind the shield grew with it. In the end, it was too tall for people on the planet to see all of it. Just at this instant, the shield stopped expanding and the ancient god lowered its head. Just its head covered the entire sky. The rotating stars between its eyebrows slowed down and then completely stopped. The moment they stopped, Wang Lin's eyes shined brightly, revealing shock and ecstasy. This is. There were 8 stars between the eyebrows of the illusion of the ancient god. If that was all it was, Wang Lin wouldn't be so shocked, but there was one more star after the 8th. This star was very blurry, as if it hadn't completely formed, but its shape was there. Only one step away from becoming a 9-star ancient god. Wang Lin gasped. He didn't expect this shield to belong to an ancient god like this. The illusionary giant ancient god suddenly collapsed into countless specks of light and the stars stopped rotating. At this instant, the entire planet was bright under the specks of light. This light only lasted for several breaths of time before they disappeared and darkness returned. The shield before Wang Lin had become almost 10,000 feet tall. It was like a giant barrier that separated yin and yang. The shield was covered by a hazy azure light that made the surroundings hazy as well. It was as if this treasure was something that shouldn't appear in the world. Wang Lin took a deep breath and charged toward the shield. In the distance, Master Hollowwind was struggling. He had once wondered what the power of this treasure would be once it was unsealed, but right now it was far beyond his imagination. He had the heart to steal it, but thinking of the seal between his eyebrows, he couldn't help but discard the idea. He didn't know what kind of punishment he would face if he broke the seal. The more he didn't know, the more he thought about the vicious seals he had heard of before. As a result, he dreaded it more and more. When Wang Lin closed in on the shield, his right hand reached out without hesitation. The moment he touched it, a powerful surge of ancient god power entered his body. It was filled with the intent to destroy everything as it swept through Wang Lin's body. However, it didn't harm Wang Lin at all. This aura went through his body several times before returning to the shield. At that moment, Wang Lin felt as if there was a huge influx of information. Fortunately, he had the body of an ancient god, so it only stung for a moment before it gradually disappeared. Wang Lin began to absorb all the information in his mind. After a long time, clarity appeared in Wang Lin's eyes and he softly said, "Di." This was the sound of an ancient god, and it was very strange. The moment he spoke, a strange force surrounded the shield and it emitted an azure glow. Then it rapidly shrank until it was the size of his palm and floated before him. Wang Lin's eyes were calm. He knew that if he didn't have the body of an ancient god, that oppressive aura would have killed him. This treasure was different from the ancient god furnace. Although the ancient god furnace had the aura of an ancient god, it lacked intelligence and was only a tool. After all, the ancient god furnace was a treasure Tu Sai wasn't satisfied with. He had casually thrown it away after creating it. It could even be said that Tu Sai had never even used that furnace once, but this shield was very different. This shield must have been something the ancient god used a lot, or else it wouldn't have created the illusion of its master when it was activated. Although it wasn't as good as the real god-slaying spear, it was pretty close. It was a treasure that could only be used by an ancient god. If a non-ancient god obtained it, they would only be able to use a bit of its power. If the seal on it was completely open, the shield wouldn't recognize an owner. After all, it would only recognize an ancient god as an owner. Wang Lin stood in the air and calmly said, "Master Hollowwind, Attack me once at full power. Master Hollow Wind pondered a bit before his hands formed a seal and purple light surrounded his body. The light turned into a stone tablet and it whistled across the sky toward Wang Lin. There were countless runes flashing on the stone tablet, creating a monstrous aura that smashed down on Wang Lin. Crackling sounds came from the sky around Wang Lin and spatial cracks immediately appeared. However, just as the stone tablet smashed down on Wang Lin, the azure light shield flashed and moved at an incredible speed to block the stone tablet. The stone tablet and the shield collided. There was a loud bang and then the stone tablet collapsed. If that was all, it wouldn't have been so bad, but what shocked Master Hollow Wind was that the origin energy from the collapsed stone tablet was absorbed by the shield. The shield shined brightly. Wang Lin pondered as he waved his hand and the shield flew into his palm. After carefully looking at it, Wang Lin smiled. This object is not a treasure of the royal bloodline, but it is a peak treasure among normal ancient gods. According in the inheritance, once it absorbs enough origin energy, I can activate the life-saving spell sealed inside. Even with Wang Lin's mental strength, he couldn't help but be moved. A spell that an 8-star ancient god would consider life-saving. How strong could it be? Wang Lin took a deep breath and looked at the shield. His eyes lit up and the shield shrank once more. It flew directly into Wang Lin's right eye. The current Wang Lin had long hair and his right eye was extremely strange. His right eye was completely blue and looked completely unforgettable. At this moment, far away from planet Water Spirit, a ray of light closed in on planet Qianyun. The person inside the ray of light was Situ Nan. He was surrounded by dense origin energy. His black hair flowed, exposing his coarse body structure, but there was a hint of evil on his face. This made him look like a demon god. He wasn't by himself, there was a woman beside him. The woman was very beautiful, with a striking sense of charm. She wore a silk dress. While flying, the silk dress stuck to her body, revealing her well-defined curves. This damn planet Qianyun, how is it so difficult to find? If not for meeting little fairy sister here, I would have never found it. It was unknown if Situ Nan was speaking the truth, but it made the stunning woman giggle. The woman's eyes were alluring as she said, "Why did Senior Situ come to planet Qianyun?" "Ha ha, I came to look for a brother. It has been many years since we met, I wonder how his cultivation is." Situ Nan revealed a trace of reminiscence and let out a sigh inside his heart. "It has been hundreds of years since I've seen Wang Lin. I wonder how that boy is now." The alluring and beautiful woman laughed. "Oh, what is the name of Senior's brother? Junior may know him." This video will end here.